Hello, hello. As you can see here on Kruber's face, we have his two-handed sword. Yeah, I used to swear by the two-handed hammer, and I still would in a team that's lacking crowd control, but this is actually my new favorite weapon to play with on Kruber for fun. So, Kruber's kind of lineup of weapons. There's the two-handed hammer, a shield and sword, shield and mace, two-handed sword, and some other one-handed stuff without shields. But basically all the weapons I just mentioned are the kind of best weapons, in my opinion, that you can use on him, depending on what role you want to play in your team. So for Kruber, my two favorites, if I had to pick two, would be the two-handed hammer or the two-handed sword. His sword and shield is nice. It hits very, very fast with the charge attack on the shield. The mace is a little bit slower, as I've shown in a different video, but still viable. And the two-handed hammer has almost as good a crowd control abilities as the shield. Not quite, but almost. But it does a fair bit more damage, especially considering that the light attack on it does an overhead smash, which lets you hit storm vermin and other things on Nightmare in one hit for the most part. With the exception of the storm vermin, of course. But anyway, the two-handed sword here. This thing fills a similar role. It's kind of halfway between, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like the hammer in some respects, as in it's a two-handed weapon, good for the charge attacks, for hitting multiple enemies. What it excels at is actually wave clear. Crowd control is okay, but it does have a lower target limit than the two-handed hammer. It also doesn't have quite as good of a swing pattern. As you can see here, the swing pattern on the two-handed sword is angled, so it doesn't swing straight right to left or left to right, making it able to miss some enemies that are in front of you, but not quite as steep of an angle as the two-handed axe, as I showed in another video I just posted today. So it's not bad. It hits quite a few enemies, but its call to fame is the fact that it does damage to, I think it's 5 enemies? I'd have to double check. But I think it can actually hit and do damage to 5 enemies, as opposed to the two-handed hammer, which hits all the enemies that it comes into contact with. I don't think it has a target limit, but it only does damage to the first 2 enemies that it hits. Meaning you can only kill a maximum of 2 enemies with the two-handed hammer, whereas with the two-handed sword here, you could kill a maximum of 5. Dealing more damage to the first target, less to the second, etc. But I believe it's the weapon with the highest damage per swing, potentially, is the two-handed sword. And of course, as I said in another video, typically with Kruber or Barden, you want to be packing Handgun for those kinds of situations right there. It's really good for killing specials. Occasionally you can help your team out like that. I am playing with bots here, so whatever. They ain't too smart. I suppose I spend much time talking about most of the other weapons, but I've already kind of said my piece on this one. It's it's really good for wave clear. A charge attack will one-hit a clan rat on Nightmare with if it's a legendary sword, as this one is in the video. You can actually, with your light attack, kill slave rats, the little pink ones, with one hit as well. I guess that's another notable difference between something like the two-handed hammer and the two-handed sword, is that the two-handed hammer has a high damage single target attack for its light attack, which typically does headshots. Wow, I'm missing my headshots on that guy. Whereas the two-handed sword, actually for its light attacks, also does kind of a cross pattern at a steeper angle than with the charge attack, so it's not as good for hitting multiple targets, but it's good enough for its target limit, which is lower than that of the charge attack. So right there, doing light attacks, even though I have a strength portion, so of course I was killing them, but yeah, right there, I just did a couple light attacks. It does heal, I mean it does kill a slave rat on a light attack. But it doesn't have as high of a target limit as the charge attack, so when you get a big pack like that, oftentimes it's best to do the charge attack, but kind of depends on the perks on your weapon. If you have something that procs a bunch of stuff off of light attacks, including like Berserk or something like that, so you swing faster, then light attacks could be good too for clearing hordes. But as you saw there, it took 2 hits to kill that clan rat on Nightmare, so that's why I typically will use the charged attack. So yeah, this build, one of its weaknesses compared to the two-handed hammer is its ability to fight storm vermin up close. Now you can body shot a storm vermin with the handgun and then do a charge attack and kill it. So that works. It's just not quite as useful as having a hammer, in the sense that the hammer has a much stronger knockback stat, meaning that it can actually stagger a storm vermin out of its attack animation mid-swing, whereas this weapon cannot do that. So if a storm vermin is taking a swing, like you see him already doing the animation, you do your charge attack, even if you hit him, you're not going to stagger him, he's going to continue his swing, and he's either going to hit you or whatever else he's trying to hit. Whereas the two-handed hammer, if you hit him even mid-swing, it will stagger him, meaning you can actually stop the attack from the storm vermin. So you're much better at crowd controlling. But this one is better at clearing trash, just because it hits more targets. Actually, sorry, it hits more targets with damage. It doesn't just hit more targets. The hammer actually does hit more targets. It just doesn't do damage to all of them. The usual Ramparts run, kill those 3 storm vermin, pretty easy. Clan rats, so definitely want to be doing the charged attack. So, if you're fighting more than one clan rat, the first one hit by your charged attack will die, even on a body shot with the two-handed sword. The second one will survive though, and you will need to do another charged attack to kill him. Or I think even a light attack follow-up would kill a clan rat if there's only 2. Now if there's more than 2, then you just want to do 2 charge attacks, because that will, even at its lowest damage potential, kill all of the clan rats in front of you. So your first swing will kill, let's say there's 5 clan rats, whatever, made up the number. Your first swing will take out 1 of the clan rats and damage 4. Your second swing will kill the other 4. Yeah, basically if it was just pink ones, the little ones, I would probably be doing light attacks because they're a little bit faster. But as there's clan rats mixed in there, I'm just doing the heavy attack just in case the clan rat's the first one that I hit and I can kill it in one swing that way. Off with your head. Yeah. There we go. So you saw up close, you just kind of smack them with your sword and then you can pop them off with your gun. Just hip fire it into their chest and they'll die if you've hit them at least once.
Get ready. It's about to throw its poison.
Kruber down. Yeah, incidentally, in case folks wonder why they see this map so much, it's one of the easiest maps to solo in my opinion on Nightmare, and fairly quick. It's good for just demonstrating a weapon's use without having to worry about taking care of teammates too much or anything like that, because the bots on this map, with the way it's designed, can take care of themselves fairly well, unless of course a rattling gunner comes. Then they just get stupid. So as you can see here, as compared to something like the two-handed axe or the two-handed hammer, the DPS on the light attack is much lower. A two-handed hammer or a two-handed axe on that same thing, that same situation, just trying to knock the chain down, can take it down much, much faster. It does a lot more damage, and against rats, it does headshots because it's an overhead smash, so it's pretty easy. There you go, another demonstration how you can take care of a storm vermin with this build. One in the body, and then a charge attack, and they die. Or just two to the body, if they're a nice long range. And you're not missing hit shots. Nope, there's a hit shot. One hit kill. Alright, clan rats, so I definitely be doing your charge attack. Taking them out, no problem. Here I'm showing that you can reload a little bit faster. I'm also ducking. With the handgun, if you duck, it will make the hittable area just a little bit smaller, so slightly more accurate. But that does not hold true for when you ADS the weapon. So if you actually right click and aim down the sights, then it actually will make you less accurate. So just something to know about the handgun there. Slice and dice. Slice and dice. Also notice I'm trying to kind of turn my camera quickly as I do the swing. You can hit more targets that way actually, as long as you haven't already got to the target limit of the weapon. And if you're trying to rapid fire using the handgun, if you ADS, then your reload speed will be the same no matter what. Whereas if you're hip firing or crouch firing, whatever, and you mash reload a split second after you fire, or you can just hit it rapidly if you want, it will reload the weapon faster. You hear that pack rat coming? Oh, miss. Yay. So yeah, it's very good for saving your team from specials. Yeah, I've been working on the railroad. Yeah, not great DPS against high health targets, but pretty good for wave clear on these little rats here. Saw there, did not kill that clan rat because it hit the slave rat first. Therefore, the clan rat only took partial damage. But that one, you saw even with a body shot, one hit kill. If it's the first thing in the swing, it's toast. Nice miss there, takes some skill. Right there, so you saw if you do a charge attack, you can actually block to kind of cancel it if you need to get moving again faster. Anyway, it's a little demonstration there. Two-handed sword and handgun gameplay on Kruber. Hope you found the video useful, and we'll see what I got from this run. Cheers.